And there we go. Comments should be up. Here we go. You're ready, guys? Hello, everybody, and welcome to the after party. You've made it until the end. I've got already two guests in here. Let me bring in the wonderful Mr. Nuno Maduro and the wonderful Kaneko. Hey, guys. Oh, Kaneko is doing a little trick, I think.
Yeah, he's doing his Kaneko face, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, we're at the end of Laracon. Fantastic. So I'm going to explain to the audience what we will be doing in this session. So first we will have Kaneko, who will be sharing secrets behind the design of the website. Even Nuno and I don't know what's going to happen, so we'll see. And after that is finished, I think it'll take probably 15 to 20 minutes, we'll have Eric Barnes on to talk a little bit about Laravel news. We will read the chat, so if you have any questions for us or for Eric, let us know and we'll react to that. So
yeah, to be honest, I'm super excited. First of all, because Kaneko have always these hidden things on the website, so I think that will be fun.
In Eric Barnes, I have no idea.
In Eric Barnes, because I never talked to him about Laravel news, so I have a lot of questions to him.
Yeah,
so that will be fun as well.
Okay, but first, Kaneko.
Yeah. First of all, thank you all for the amazing day, and congrats to be up at this time, especially you, Freek, because it's going to be hard tomorrow.
Yeah,
let's begin.
It's so pretty late.
We can all go to bed. Yeah. Let's begin. Share the screen.
Okay, I'll share your screen here, like that.
Can you see my screen?
Wait. It's already late. Like this probably. And then maybe if we can see us back again. Like that. Okay.
That is good.
All right.
So can you see the screen, right?
Yeah, we can see the screen.
It's perfect.
So let me just put it here. So this is actually a tip for Ian. He might, for the next Laracon, do this trick on the navigation so people won't see the next slides, but that's a tip for him later. So Laracon, you just finish it.
Kaneko, I forgot something. Sorry. At a party, you have some music, right? So let's do some music here.
Summerish music.
Yeah.
Summerish. So where was I? So the Laracon has ended, and last time it ended up like this. So this was one of the slides from the Laracon Worldwide Meetup, where I presented the secrets from the last edition, the winter edition. So me and Freek Nelson was like this. It was a little bit broken because I could not hold his head. So sorry for him. But he got recovered, and he designed the amazing illustration that you all know. So just a quick reminder, this was the winter edition for the Laracon online. So Freek Nelson did this amazing illustration where all the main topics was on that illustration. And if you all remember, there's a lot of hidden gems, Easter eggs inside of in there. If you don't know it, just please check it out, the worldwide meetup where I present all the Easter eggs. So from the winter, let's summer this. And this was some early sketches that Flick Nelson did while we were on brainstorming where could be the direction of the illustration. So this was the very first sketch from Flick, and it's then pretty close for what it is at the moment. So from this, and I got here a clip. It could be a little bit laggy, but you can see that he draws everything on an iPad. So he rocks. He's an amazing illustrator, and he has all the set of tools, and it's pretty darn amazing. And as you see from that sketch, he's just trying to draw on top of the early sketch, and he just turned this is the same sketch to this, so we can have a proper feeling of depth and how the things are going and whatever. And then it's a trick of painting out and try to decide the color. So from the winter, it was plain black and white, and this one was all colorfulish and summerish and ish. So it has a lot of vibes and a lot of chill. Please, a round of applause for him, the crazy illustration that he did, and I want to keep on pushing and presenting him because it's a terrific job from Flick Nelson, and thanks to him for doing this. But you're not here to see the illustration because you can go to the site and see it. You're here because of the Easter eggs. And once again, I'm not meaning the leave button because I believe that you press it already, and you can see Ian
even today, by the way.
You can see it here, Ian jamming like crazy with the crazy cat. But I'm actually meaning about some other Easter eggs. So this is the illustration, right? But if I starting doing this, you already know where I'm going with this, right? Because it's the same approach of last edition. So maybe this could help you a little bit.
Can we try to guess, and then you tell us if it's not okay?
Tell Nuno what it is. Send a test here.
Well, I would say that small. So first of all, every small piece of the logo, it's kind of connected to a talk or not. Exactly.
I'm going there in a moment. Check it. I'm presenting one Easter egg. This is the first one. So
okay, go ahead.
All right. So So this is the first Easter egg.
Pretty
Have you
amazing.
seen it? Have you noticed it? I'm going to put just illustration. Can you read it now? Now that you know it, can you read it?
Yeah, but I had no idea, man.
Yeah, I noticed it because I knew it was also in the first one. You explained it. So if you know it, you see it, and otherwise you can't see it.
Yeah. So this is, you need to be a little bit open-minded, but this is one of the signature moves from Flick, is to put the name of the things really connected to the illustration itself. But this is just the beginning. So I'm going to my Photoshop. So eventually you're seeing the Photoshop, hopefully. Are you seeing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We'll see it.
So Nuno was asking if stuff on the illustration were connected to the talks. And not only the talks, to be honest. So let's start with the beginning. So open-minded people. So the kite here, you can see that it has an L, but if you notice here, the tail, it has what? What is the resemblance?
Is that the inertia logo
That's
thing?
it.
Wow.
That's the inertia logo. That's the inertia logo. And in here, you can see that what is typed here? What it says?
I can't read it well. Unit.
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 Yeah, it's unit. Yeah.
That's it. That's regarding the unit talk that was from Colin.
Cool.
And it here's has some fancy little gems in here, so you can see here that it says clean code. So the books here was regarding the documentation part of the talk, the talk with the documentation. And in here is a bottle of octane. So if you can drink it, you get energy from octane. the clouds was referred to vapor, and you might say that it could be not. I'm not going to say that it is or not it is, but this could be Taylor sitting at a beach, just chilling, and always with the laptop trying to code something. Moving on, the next section. Actually, this bot, I asked it to Freek to draw and try to push Larry into the illustration, just as a compliment for all the work that Laracon has been doing to the community. So this is more or less the bot from Larry. I don't know if I say Larry, do you know it, the mascot? So Laracast.
Is that mascot called Larry? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think it's
Larry.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know if you know it as well. If you right-click the logo, you just go back to this assets folder, and you can see here what is it, the mascot. So you meet Larry. So you can see more or less the resemblance. So that's why you have here the crazy bot in deep. But this one is going to be tricky. Those fish doesn't remind you of anything?
I don't think so.
Does anybody in the audience know? I don't know.
Can you double check the comments if someone?
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on it. So if you know what it is, let us know in the comments.
Let's see what people say. But for me,
it's a no-go.
Someone said Tailwind, but
yeah, that's it.
What?
That's some Tailwind fish in there. So in DC, there's Tailwind fish. So that's the actually reference for the both Lightning Talk and my talk regarding Tailwind.
Did we got too much wine, Freek, and that's why we weren't able to see?
I think so.
So the eel, it's a little bit obvious. So it's an eel. It produces electricity. So it's referring to all the lightning talks. And you can see here that the bubbles coming out from the eel is actually like a speech bubble. So that's also a reference. In here, in the shell, you can see like the pearl, but you can see like how do you call it, this thing? Help me with an English word. The cashier. The cashier.
Yeah.
So this is a reference. So this is a reference for Dristol. So it's a direct connection, and it's inside a shell. And have you noticed it here? This guy lurking in the cave. That's
I haven't noticed
which,
but
that one is one of the anonymous. So it's referring to which talk?
The security one, maybe.
Yeah, the one from Stefan.
Wow.
So there
you go.
That's the reference. So like a true hacker is always hiding in the corner. So that's why they reference. So in here you can see the one of the last parts of the illustration. So here you have the search bot. I'm not going to say any company names. So you have here the search bot. So if it's search is referring to each talk. Can you guess it?
The SEO one?
It's regarding the SEO. Yeah, from Christian. Yeah. And in here for last, you can see the main reference. So the 10 in a cake.
The 10, yeah.
It's the anniversary.
It's for the anniversary of the 10 years of Laravel. So, and that's it. But it could be just that. Could be that there is any more Easter eggs so far.
I
So
guess
let me
so.
go back to the slide. So let me show you one Easter egg in here. Let me just shoot. I'm afraid to. Yeah. Okay. So I can show this one. If you go, you're going to blow. You're going to be crazy right now.
My
So,
God.
let me just. So shoot, I cannot grab the thing. It's too much wine at the moment. Yeah. So let me just go here. So with the inspect element open, I'm just going to select the shell and I'm going to press the H key. What's that? Oh, it's the Taylor bobblehead. Lost in the ocean. So this was
wow.
one of the,
yeah, now I see it.
Wait. Stop. Can you repeat the thing?
So you need, I'm going to refresh the site.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
Go to inspect element and
Yeah.
you just press that button because you want to select the shell or the clam, and you just hide it or remove it.
And there's
Just
the
press delete.
bobblehead underneath it.
My gosh.
So that's a reference that Freek was truly forcing to have the sort of a connection
Wow.
from the first illustration to the new one. So that's the exact bobblehead that was on the top
is
of
brilliant,
Taylor's desk.
man. It's brilliant, this stuff, huh?
So, and actually today, and I believe that it was regarding my talk when I shared one of the tips from the image size using the Tailwind utility classes. And actually, this guy, Gaydel Guerra, actually found out that he didn't actually found that you need to remove the shell, but it actually found out that there was a Taylor hidden there. So go on Twitter, props to him, and because he found out a little bit sooner, but a little bit too late. It could be a little bit sooner, but okay, someone found it. And could I be just ending here? Oh yeah, more or less. So the front stack you all know. So this time I discarded Vite because Tailwind CSS CLI tool, it's amazing. That's why I pushed the idea. So I just use it pure Tailwind Alpine. Oh, dark mode. Dark mode.
I discovered dark mode.
Did you?
Yeah, I think if you scroll down and click one of the clamps down, then you get dark mode. I accidentally discovered it, I think.
One of the what?
Where?
You're trying it?
I think there that flickering bubble behind
that's
you.
Not, that's actually the eye of the octopus.
The eye of the octopus.
The idea.
Yeah. And
so
I think
if you click it, all the site goes on dark mode. So everything has a dark mode, including
what the hell?
I discovered that one, Kaneko.
Yeah. So props to you, but you didn't tweet it, so you can claim it.
Damn. Next year better.
So, yeah. But so here I present you the dark mode, and now it's open. You can see it, and we released a lot of hints. So even the merch, there's the dark mode in there, the illustration. So it'll probably be somewhere in the site as well. So moving on, this is dark mode and no more Easter eggs. So all thing is on the open. Oh no! Actually, I just forgot to reference one thing. This guy, the bottle, the promise. So I totally forgot about this. So this was regarding which talk? This is a promise.
Maybe another one for inertia with the JavaScript heavy stuff.
No, more dialogue? For asynchronous regarding asynchronous. So it's more regarding
the Mohammed's talk.
Yeah,
yeah. So now I'm just seeing the bottle and just reminded. So that's it. So I just want to give it a little push. So the extra stuff that we did for the Laracon itself. So merchandise, and you can go there and get one of the merch items. It just be going to be open for a couple of days more, and then it'll be out and never to be seen. And to intro clips, it was a new one on in here for the Laracon, so every speaker did sort of an intro. It was a lot of fun editing the videos. Thank you to all the speakers that give some extra time to prepare them and to send them, and it was, I believe, a lot of fun. So there's a YouTube. If you go to kaneko.dev.laracon intros, you could just go redirected to the playlist. So all the intros are in there, also in the Twitter, so you can just follow in whatever.
Oh, nice.
And the presentation slides, as you well seen. So that's Freek already done the amazing illustration, and then just push it more and more for the presentation itself for the full Laracon. The bubble hats was a little bit undercover this edition, but Freek did this amazing illustration, even showing up every single bubble hat, and he did yet again an amazing job. And this was his tweet from today, so he is really hurt at the moment. On his hand, he has tendinitis.
Oh,
Yeah.
Something.
That's not good.
Yeah,
that's not good.
He needs a little bit of a rest, so I might push it a little bit for too much. He needs a little bit of rest for months, but this is me saying to him thanks for the extra work and to push these kind of illustrations to the community. And just one more thing, because before closing up, winter is coming. So Ian invited us, so we are back for the next winter.
That's good.
Great news.
So we're a little bit. So I'm gonna just to stop share the screen so I can see you guys.
Okay.
Right, I can. I'll just stop sharing. Just remove it. Yeah.
Yeah, wait. I'll get us back on the same page.
On the trio.
One moment, guys. It's already late here, but I'll add
Press
you
the button.
and I'll add you. Here we are.
So I was saying, we just want to make the work really hard for the next team. And eventually we are the same team, so we're just making harder for ourselves. So you're not. I don't know what we are going to come up with for the next winter, but winter is coming. So let's see.
No, first of all, I think congratulations, man. Once again, you surprised everyone. For me, it's not a surprise, by the way. I know that you always come up with fantastic stuff. But anyways, congratulations! You made you made a fantastic artwork, and yeah, everything just clicked once again.
As well.
Yeah, your team, let's say.
Yeah. And thanks for that, but I'm tired.
You should rest now and let your brain just do nothing. So you can, in a couple of weeks, just start thinking maybe about like the winter one.
No, we need a little bit of cool down at the moment, and Freek needs to rest his hand before he goes on a crazy ride yet again. But it was crazy the couple of weeks preparing everything. I did my slides, Ian slides, these slides, so too much slides.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot for sure.
Yeah, because you have basically the website to prepare, all the artwork involved on that. Then you have your talk, and then you also prepare this small talk for the after party. So that's on top of your day job, right?
Yeah. I need to rest now. I need to rest.
Anyways, I think
I'm going to hibernate.
I think in our side, as an attendee, I'm super glad that you took this 20 to 30 minutes to actually explain some of those Easter eggs. I wasn't expecting those Easter eggs, by the way. They were pretty fantastic. And thank you so much for that, Kaneko, once again.
Yeah, good job. Very good job. And
Now,
thanks for revealing all the secrets again also.
Yeah, it's also fun trying. We're also always trying for people not to find them, because it's a lot fun in this way too. It's a little bit sweet sour, because you have too much time. You spend too much time doing that. For example, the black mode, the dark mode. Only today is open in a while, and we spend, I don't know, almost more than 2 months, and the dark mode was in there.
Yeah.
And no one no one besides Freek.
I accidentally clicked on it on the very first day. Not kidding. I wish I tweeted about it.
Yeah.
Freek,
I didn't notice,
to make it
no, I
harder
didn't
next
notice.
time. If you check the source code, for example, DI has no click cursor whatsoever. It just sits in there. It's like no link, no button. It's just a div with a small line. And even the Taylor bobblehead, I just push it some code that it just shows up when the clam shows, just to be sure that it's hiding Taylor's bobblehead.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's a lot of fun as well. No worry. So push in so you can all go to bed. So see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye, Kaneko. Thanks again.
Thank you, Kaneko. Thank you so much,
worry.
man.
Okay, I think that was pretty great. I think we're
It's
ready.
pretty fantastic, but I wasn't expecting less from Kaneko. To be honest, he always comes up with these new and fantastic ideas. So it's a surprise, but not a surprise at the same time. He always do a fantastic work, huh?
Yeah, indeed. And I think he's just making it harder on himself, together with Flickenelson, he's making it harder on himself because he raises the bar every time. And next time must be better than this time. So the pressure is on, I'd say. Okay, I'm going to invite Eric in.
Our second guest.
Yeah, and hopefully he is still alive. I'm also going to try, now that we're not doing anything, just to see if we can get... Sorry, Nuno, about this.
It's fine.
I'm just seeing if I can make like a slightly better layout of a stool, but let's see.
Because we are taking the full screen, right?
Yeah, and it's a bit difficult to do. I haven't prepared any scenes today, and I don't know. Okay, Eric is joining. Let's do it. And here we have the man. Hey, Eric. You're going to be
so
the
much,
one,
Eric, for joining us, huh?
Yeah.
To be honest, if you can hear us, I wasn't expecting you to accept. As you, I was probably thinking, okay, he's a busy guy and probably doesn't have 20 minutes for these European folks. But thank you so much for coming, man.
Yeah, indeed, I appreciate it. After a long day for you.
Yes, these are always like how I would imagine running a marathon is. You know, at the end, you're just like spent. Or at least that's how I picture it, because I'm never going to run more than a mile. But if I did run, that's how I would imagine it. But yeah, so at the end of the day, it's just you're just ready for bed. And it's so stressful that so much stuff goes on behind the scenes you don't realize.
Yeah,
please, Freek. I'm sorry.
How was Laracon for you? I can imagine that in the beginning it's a lot, and in the ending the problems have been solved a little bit. Is it like that?
Yes, usually the day before and the morning of is sort of the insane time. You know, as far as support, you know, people put in a wrong email address for their tickets, or just can't get access. So lots of things like that, and of course they're freaking out because they want access, as soon as it starts. So basically, I just sit in my email box all day and just try to answer support and help out anybody that has any problems or issues or anything.
And now
Speaking by myself and also in the name of all the attendees, speakers, and everyone, we are super glad that you have made such a great conference once again. So thank you so much for that, Eric. Huh?
Yeah,
Awesome.
indeed.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, we like to do it, for the community, and it ended up. We started it actually before the pandemic and COVID hit, so it just kind of worked really well when the whole world shut down, so we can continue to do it at least a little bit until everything opens back up. But yeah, we're very happy to do it and love just meeting everybody and letting everybody come together in an event like this that they wouldn't be able to if it was in person, even though because those are always limited to like 400 people, where here you can get thousands of people to come and watch.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, and I think that content-wise, it also was a success. Not only probably the visitor numbers, but also the quality of talks was just crazy. I thought. I think there wasn't a bad talk. It was just rolling quality talks the whole time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were all good. Yeah, I didn't get to watch all of them, but all the ones I seen were really good. I had it running in the background the whole day, and everything was great. Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about Laracon. We're talking here about another love child of yours, Laravel News. Yeah, and we thought it would be very fun to have you on because I don't think I've ever heard like the story behind Laravel News. I've heard the story about Laracast, how it started, and about Laravel, how it started, but never about Laravel News. So that's why we're here. So Laravel News has been around for a very long time already. Personally, I see it as like one of the reasons why Laravel has become as popular this quickly. I'm sure that Laravel would have gone popular if some other things didn't happen, but I think having like a nice platform where people can get news made it popular just a little bit faster than it would have otherwise, I think.
Yeah, we hope so. We try, to sort of go back to the beginning. Well, actually, Laravel News will be 10 years.
10 years?
January.
Wow.
So it's
10 years?
Yeah. So to start from the beginning, Taylor and I got hired by Ian at the same time at Userscape. We were working on a product called Snappy, which was this app. He was basically doing the back end. I was doing the front end through. This was so long ago. We used Backbone.js and underscore.
Ouch.
Those days.
Angular was beta back then. Like nobody, it was like, Backbone was sort of it. Oh, it was terrible.
Only good vibes, Eric. Only good vibes.
Yes. But so that's how we started.
And by the way, all of that is pre-Laravel, right?
No. So we were using Laravel. This was been Laravel 3, I believe.
Already. Okay.
Taylor was doing the back end in Laravel, and then I was doing the front end and the UI through like Backbone and underscore. So basically, but we got hired around the same time, and we were working together through this thing. And then, he would share things about Laravel, but there was no like official. I don't even think there was an official Laravel Twitter. He would just tweet it from his account. So I was like, well, I'll start Laravel News. I sort of did it as a joke, and I would just retweet, anybody sharing anything Laravel related on Twitter. And then, a few months later, I was like, this is good, but you can never find any of this information I'm sharing because, Twitter is kind of like this endless void. So I was like, I should put this on a blog. So I started like a Tumblr and would just like share links and things like that. And then it sort of progressed over that. I think one of my main goals was I just really wanted to learn to write more. So, you create a website where you write all the time, and of course you'll get better.
Okay,
but
so
then it sort of grew from there.
In the beginning, you just wrote everything yourself then?
Correct, yes. So basically, I ran it. One of my inspirations back then was the Apple blog, Daring Fireball. That covers like Apple News and stuff like that. I liked how he had the little short articles and a link, and just sort of an opinion on it or something like that. So that's sort of how I did it for probably the first 5 years, I guess. And then, basically it was just a community resource. And then around, I want to say it's it's 5 years ago now. I found Paul and was able to, through the advertising income and all that stuff, was able to actually hire Paul and then let him start writing more. And then that kind of freed me up to focus more on the business. And of course, I've still had a full-time job all this time. So, trying to do everything, it got sort of tiring.
Let's maybe back a little bit up. So I guess that's when Laravel was getting a little bit more popular. You saw it probably in your visitor numbers as well. And when did you think like, hey, this can become something? I need to double down a little bit on this.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I guess it all happened around Laravel. I want to say late Laravel 4, early Laravel 5 is when Laravel News itself really started taking off. Because I'm trying to remember exactly. It's been so long, my memory's phasing yet I'm getting so old. I think it was Laravel 4 when they added Eloquent, or was it 3 point something? But I feel like after Eloquent was added is when Laravel really started taking off. And
I think it was around Laravel 4, even though I wasn't around at that time, though. But I think it's around Laravel 4, yeah.
Yeah, so somewhere around in there. And then the same way I just put up like a, this is more the business side. I just put up like some banner ads, and then I saved all that money and then hired Zangle to create a design for it. And it seems like once the first real design was added, like just traffic exploded and everything then, which is sort of interesting. But
now that
I actually have a question. So from what I was able to understand for what you just have said, your first touch with Laravel was when basically Taylor joined you in Userscape at the same time, and then you started the backend on Laravel, which is the framework you already had. And then you saw Laravel. Correct. And you thought, all right, this is actually a cool framework, so I'm going to start creating a blog about it, right?
Yes. So I actually came from CodeIgniter, way back in the day, like so many other people, and I found Laravel. It was probably like a month or two before we started working together. And I remember just kind of hanging out in the, I guess it was IRC back then. And then, I met Taylor through there, and then it ended up happening at a CodeIgniter conference. I met some friends, and then they're like, this guy's hiring. So then for whatever reason, that's how I found Ian. And then Ian, I think, found Taylor through, because Laravel was sort of this new up and coming framework. And, so we did sort of know each other a little bit before we started working together. And then, at that point, we just worked together, I guess probably a year maybe, until Forge was launched. And then when Forge launched, he quit and went full-time on Laravel.
Yeah. And still a little bit about yourself before we jump into the concrete questions about Laravel News. You said that you were basically doing front end when you have joined Userscape. That have been always your thing? Or you also do backend? How is your day basically? Your day job nowadays and before as well?
So to give you a little history. So I started out sort of like self-taught, back in the early 2000s, and I built this script that was like a classified script. It was sort of, you would buy the script for like $200 and you could sell things through it. I'm thinking of like, it's not an auction site like an eBay, but it's more like a Craigslist style before Craigslist was popular. So we had a bunch of people that way. And then, so from there, that's how I sort of learned PHP and sort of programming in general. Then from there, I got hired from a sporting company they build websites for like big arenas and events. So I built like the CMS for that on CodeIgniter. So I was basically all back end up until I started with Userscape. And then, so when we started building that, of course, Taylor was a much better programmer than I am. So we put him on the back end, and then I learned JavaScript and all that stuff at that point. Up until then, I've only ever used jQuery and, didn't know a whole lot. So it was kind of fun. It was a fun learning experience, I guess. And then now I'm more of like a jack of all trades type person. I do, our main product is HelpSpot, which is like an enterprise help desk application. So I jump around. Basically, whatever bugs show up is I'm jumping around working on those, doing our back office billing system, doing just sort of everything, But I don't really specialize in one area, I guess is what you would say. I'm sort of a I don't know the word, but
sort of an
I jump
octopus,
around
and you go
everywhere.
everywhere. Yeah.
Well, full stack developer, right?
Yeah, full stack, but I'll jump into support. I'll do sales. I'll do whatever. So anything that needs done, I'll just jump in and do it because it doesn't bother me too much.
Let's jump a little bit back to Laravel news itself. You said that around like Laravel 5 that the traffic really exploded, and when you did the redesign, what do you know what is actually the most read post of Laravel news?
Oh, that's a good question. There is a post. We wrote it a few years ago, or actually I wrote it a few years ago on like introduction to Laravel. It was like kind of just like a little tutorial, taking you through the steps. And that one actually ended up being probably one of the most popular. And then I get, actually Paul's updated it twice, I think, since then. So with every major version, we update that. But it always does well. And believe it or not, the second most is a MySQL error that happens when you update one of the, I can't remember exactly now, but it was just like I hit it one day when I was updating Laravel, and I was like, I'll just put an article about this. But for whatever reason, it just ranks high, and everybody searches for it for some reason. So
it reminds me
just like a random article.
It reminds me a little bit of like the most popular post on the West Blog post. He also shared it, and that's a post where he shares how to comment in JSX. Just how to comment, just three lines of text, then an example. That is the most popular post on the blog because people search for this all the time.
Yeah, that's hilarious. But yeah, so I don't really try any, like for me and the way I think of Laravel news, like I don't really try to get a ton of traffic or to rank high. I'm more of thinking of like, how can we help the community, get your packages out, get, news that you might want to know about out versus, writing tutorials all the time or writing all this other stuff that might generate way more traffic or, to me, it's more of a community back thing versus, tutorials and things like that, I guess is how I look at it now.
Yeah. The link section, which it was, I think, a whole lot improved after Siegel redesigned it. You see a lot of people submitting stuff there, right? I guess that's how you get like a little feeling of what lives in the community just by people letting submit it to your site.
Yeah, and then so if you submit a link, then it basically it goes up. Once we publish, it goes up through like to Zapier, to Buffer, to a lot of the social media, and then we also do it in the newsletter each week. And then so whenever we're running out of content, we can go back through and look at what was popular in the links, and then write posts on that. To basically to highlight other things that people have created or made.
And actually, we have a question from the chat that's actually a good follow-up to the thing you just have said. What is the tech stack behind Laravel news today?
So today it's running Statamic, which is the flat file Laravel powered CMS. It runs, so it uses that. It uses S3 and one of the ImageX, I think is the name of it. Runs behind Cloudflare and on a Linode, probably one of the cheapest Linode servers you can get. And I cache everything to the max. Basically, I use what they call flat file caching. So every single page load generates an HTML file, and then I, through an Nginx rule, it loads the HTML file first, unless it can't find it, and then it falls back and pulls that out.
Interesting.
It doesn't really generate a whole lot of load or anything like that, since everything's so cached and it's basically all HTML. So it's usually pretty quick, unless I have to clear all the cache. But,
then every page needs to have a real request again. Then And
interesting that you have mentioned that as well, that I cache things, and you seem to be very involved with the development of Laravel News. So I wanted to ask you, like, who are the people behind Laravel News? Because we often see like articles being written by Paul, as you have mentioned, but we also see articles from other people. So I wanted to ask you, who are the people behind Laravel News, or if there is also just people who are just content writers, for example.
Gotcha. So Paul basically writes a ton of articles. We try to publish one a day, depending on the schedule and stuff like that. So he's sort of the primary writer lately. We have Jason Beggs out of Georgia. He manages the link section, so he manages the approvals of the links, the community links that are submitted. And then from there, we just have like guest posts. So like if you say, I created this package, will you cover it? If I'm busy, I'll be like, well, you want to write a post about it, and then we'll do it that way. So basically, it's me, Jason, and Paul, and then everybody else is just sort of community involvement there.
Interesting.
And how do you write the newsletter? Is there also a tool for that? Because it seems to me that there is also a lot of work there to prepare it if you would do it manually. So I can imagine that you have some automation going on there as well.
Yeah. So we actually have two newsletters. We have an automated daily newsletter, and that one goes out every day at 2 p.m. Eastern time, and that just does like all the posts of the day, any new Lara jobs, and then any links published that day. And that one's just completely automated. And then the weekly one on Sunday. So what I do is I have a special sort of a backend page where I can copy out all the jobs, the links, and the history, the archive. So I just copy and paste those, and then the top section I usually write that every week and try to highlight whatever big news is happening or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I've got it down to now I can do it fairly quick, I guess. It still probably takes me 30 minutes to an hour just to try to think through what I'm trying to say. but it's gotten a lot easier, which of course I've been doing that for I don't know many years now.
Yeah, how many newsletters have you already written? So you've already been busy for 10 years. If you do it every week, then you're at like 500 somewhere there.
We're at 300. I think it was 363 last week.
Okay.
So
still
I started it about. Yeah. So I was thinking like I might have started like 2 or 3 years after Laravel News started, because if you remember way back then, Dries Vince had a Laravel weekly newsletter.
Yeah.
And so he would write one, and then I think he stopped writing at some point, and I was like, well, I'll write a newsletter, and then sort of went from there. But yeah, so it's been quite a few years though, but it's just sort of my normal routine now. Every either Friday night or Saturday, I'll write the newsletter and then schedule it up for Sunday.
And also about writing, do you find yourselves still writing a lot of posts? And what is your technique to write posts, basically? Yeah.
1 second, let me get some more drink.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
See, I'm drinking water.
Where's that? I'm also switching to the water now.
Usually we sort of, I want to say there's sort of a pattern to it. Once you write the same thing over and over for so many years, as far as like if it's a release post or if it's, like a community package that we're covering or something like that, basically I try to just follow the same one as like a news article in the paper would, where you have your title, and then your first paragraph tries to describe everything that's going to cover below it, and then if they want to keep reading they can, and then from there sort of go into the weeds of the package, so to speak. We cover so much information. I feel like we're just trying to get the high level overview of what this thing does instead of going into all the little tiny steps and details, because if it sounds interesting, then you're going to go visit it, and then you're going to do all that work anyway, so there's no point for us. We're more of like a marketing service, I guess you would say, looking at it, what we think people might be interested in, I guess.
Where do you see like Laravel News going? Do you have like any ideas that you want to implement? I personally, I think from seeing from the outside, it's doing pretty well. And I wouldn't change anything, but maybe you have some plans already.
Well, there's always plans, right?
Yeah, true.
Having time to do the plans and having mainly the time to do the plans. But there's always something that can be done. Like the example of the community link section, I don't really like the way that we have it set up on the website. Like I would prefer it to be better somehow. Just minor things like that. I'm trying to think of anything else that was right off the top of my head, but on that same token though, I try to make myself available. So if anybody, within the community thinks of something that would make Laravel news better, let me know, and I'll put it on my list, see if we can improve stuff. But yeah, it's basically always trying to improve a little bit here and there.
Yeah. For me personally, when you've changed the design to the current design, that was for me like, whoa, yeah. He's really
crazy,
getting in a very good place there. So, and I don't think it is looking old or anything. It still feels very, very fresh to me.
If you mind, I also think that the previous design was also very good. It brings me nostalgia when I look at it right now.
Yeah, so the last design was by Zangle, and I liked it so much that's why I decided to have them come in and redesign it, but kind of keep a lot of the same feel to it. So that's why I went with the same designers this time, and they do a really good job anyway. But yeah, so that was the other one was 4 years old, almost 5 years old. So it felt like it was time, for a refresher. So that's why I went ahead and did it for. I want to say it launched in January of this year, so we're already almost a year in.
Yeah, for me, to be honest, when I saw the new design, I was like, it was a little bit like the Laravel site redesign as well. For me, it was like, all right, I liked this design so much for many years, and like seeing a new one, I understand that the new one is better and is more cool, but it's my baby, I like to see it this way. But anyways, it was fun.
That's great. Yeah. See, and as far as the tech stack, the old one, I was using WordPress, and we had our whole backend in WordPress, and it was a whole separate subdomain. You would go over there and publish, and then I would use webhooks from WordPress to ping a Laravel app, which was the main site, and then it would suck in the article, and then it would cache everything and do all that stuff. But it became sort of annoying with how I had the author set up, because you couldn't sync really well, because I had a whole separate users table for the links and stuff like that. So when people wanted to guest post, it was quite it wasn't really set up great. So at the time with the new design, I was like, either I'm going to go through and really fix this up right, or switch to something that existed. And switching to something that existed sounded really good to me, because I don't like to rebuild everything.
Yeah, and I get going to the current solution is probably already a lot better than what you had going with WordPress there.
Yeah, it's a lot better. Yes. Yeah.
We have me and Freek, we actually prepared some quick questions that we would like to do as well, to finish off this interview, let's say. And we would like to know what kind of tools you use to be productive. It can be writing or even developing as well.
Okay, so writing, I use IA Writer and Grammarly. Those are my two big things.
Okay.
Which IA Writer is just a Markdown app for the Mac. For development, I switch. It depends on the project. So our big enterprise app, I use PHP Storm. Any little small app, like if I'm working on Laravel News or Laravel Jobs or Laracon, I use either Sublime Text or VS Code, and I switch between those at any moment of the day. So I'll have basically all three open all the time. And then Table Plus for the database GUI. Trying to think of anything else that I use that's interesting. I use Sketch app for making the featured images on Laravel News.
Yeah, that's also pretty interesting. Do you have to create them manually yourself? Because you have them on every post, right?
Yes, sir. Every post has one, and we do create them manually. But some things we can reuse. So we have a pretty big archive of assets now. But for the most part, though, I just have a sketch template set up, and I'll go grab a like say if I'm doing a brand new one for something, I'll just go to like the noun project, grab a little icon or something, put in the middle, and then just change the background color, and that way it looks pretty decent. I've got that kind of down to a science too. Between that and what's the other one? Unsplash, things like that. Basically just free images where you can use them on your own site. I'm trying to think of anything else. I use Safari because it's the best browser ever.
True. I agree.
Even for front end development, you use the inspect element from Safari and stuff.
Okay, no, that's trash. But otherwise, that's a great
for as a user.
I use Firefox.
Yeah, I get it.
Nightly. The dev.
As a dev, yeah.
And I use Chrome only for like this. Chrome usually I don't even open it very often, so I don't use it much.
Yeah, it's true. Like Chrome for streaming and basically for everything that involves JavaScript, just faster. I don't know. So I also use Chrome for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Let's maybe do.
I don't do a lot of that, so.
Let's maybe do one more question because we're already almost an hour in, and I don't know what the time is at your time zone, Eric, but here in Belgium it's 3 o'clock in the morning almost. So
super late.
Yeah.
Wait. We had to do something before this from our conversation in the Telegram. I'm gonna have to teach y'all how to say y'all.
Yeah. Let's do that. Y'all.
Yeah, it's called y'all.
Y'all.
It's kind of like you go and you fall down. It's y'all.
Y'all.
So you were saying y'all by you all?
Yeah, you all.
Yeah.
You and every
Yes.
and you and all of you.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah,
y'all.
It's really like a Southern slang United States word, y'all. Like, hey y'all, or y'all.
Hey y'all.
Yeah. Ian warned me that as a non-native speaker, you can't use it because it will be weird if you try to do it.
Yes. Yeah, you basically have to be from the United States southern region for it to sound great.
To be able to do that.
That's right.
Well, thanks for that. Thanks for that little lesson. Maybe I'll do it at the next talk for Laracon. Hello, y'all. That's already wrong, probably.
Wait for it to come back to Atlanta, Georgia. With the aquarium and everything that got canceled. If it ever comes back there, then y'all would fit in perfectly if you use that one.
That would have been like a fantastic Laracon. Right?
Yeah, I hope I have no insider information whatsoever, but I really hope that for the next in person, that Taylor considers that location again because it seemed such a nice place to be in Atlanta with that aquarium.
Yeah. I still remember the tweets
nice
about it. It looked really fantastic.
Yeah, indeed.
And I can drive there, so that makes it really nice.
For you, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to fly,
only like 3 hours, 4 hours.
So Eric,
to
finish this off, what is your favorite Laravel feature, and how do you see Laravel in 10 years?
Ooh,
those are two questions, Nuno, but we'll do the two questions.
Tricky ones. I'm trying to think of my favorite feature. I mean, I'd have to go with facades, right? Because everybody loves facades.
Yeah.
those are what makes Laravel. Like, that was it.
A good one.
But no, I don't know. I don't know if I really have a super favorite, but I don't know. I from being with Laravel from way back in the day, Eloquent, that came out and was new, Blade, all these new things. So it's like everything just kind of builds on top of everything else. But I really like Blade just because I like to create a whole lot of websites that are just like simple little HTML files and stuff like that. And, Blade is pretty powerful if you really get down into it. And I've always been a fan of the way it's set up versus like the Smarty or the Symfony one.
Twig.
Twig.
Yeah. So I like how Blade is like you have so much freedom, like you do with the rest of Laravel. Like if you really want to mess it up and throw some PHP in there, you can do it.
Yeah.
And it's not going to yell at you.
Yeah, I still remember when I discovered PHP that it just felt safe to have like that escape hole that you just could do it if you wanted to, you know. And then I learned not to how to do it, but it was nice that it could be there. And nowadays, Blade is in a very good state. I can imagine, Eric, that you also very much like those Blade components.
Yes,
I think they're quite magical to use. It's like the best addition that has come to Blade in recent years, I think. And it's so much fun to do stuff with them.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So the second part of the question was, how do you see Laravel evolve in 10 years? Yeah. And what will Laravel news be like? Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. So what's funny about that question is every year for Laracon, Taylor tells us, I have nothing to talk about. Laravel is feature complete. And then, you know, that's always what happens, like right after one of the big releases. And then the next release comes and it'll just have like all this amazing stuff in it. So I really feel like, you know, of course they'll keep adding the developer nice features and things like that. I feel like you know, moving together with the JavaScript, CSS, the whole thing will just continue to get better and better. I don't know what that's going to be yet, but I do think it's interesting how, you know, all the inertia and all that stuff is kind of building over here on the side. I think eventually all that's going to come full circle, and, you know, who knows? In 10 years, we'll probably be writing like HTML4 and putting slashes after our BR tags and stuff.
Yeah, I think like a good way to think about these things is just to think back. You know, 10 years ago, what was Laravel? And sure enough, it was already pretty good from the get-go. But how many things did we get in those 10 years? It's pretty amazing.
It's pretty impressive for sure.
I was gonna say, if you think back to like when I first found it, it was basically a routes file, and you know, it didn't really have models or anything back then. It was just sort of a simple little routing framework that, you know, had some. I'm trying to remember what all it had. I remember the routes file very distinctly, and I remember that's really all I'm remembering. I have to go back to the original repo and start looking again. But it's progressed so much over the years. It's crazy.
Yeah, so if we get all of those features, as much quality features again in 10 years, I don't know. Maybe we can write Forge with just one file or just in a day, something like that, because all of the niceties. You just have to think of queues and it will configure all your queues for you, something like that.
Well, something that I would add on top of that is that definitely, like, we always have new ideas. Like in Laravel, on the Laravel team, we maintain products, and ideas to actually solve existing problems, they happen all the time. So I'm a little bit with Eric here. I think things will just keep improving. The Laravel team and also the community will still find problems on web applications, and Laravel will be here to just help everyone. Once again, I think.
Here's a good one, Laravel Copilot.
Great.
Laravel Copilot.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go, Eric. That was just what I wanted to say.
I was just going to say, because Laravel never rests, basically. You know, Taylor, the development team, they never say this is good enough. Where some of the other frameworks over the years have sort of stagnated, where I don't feel like Laravel's going to ever stagnate, because they keep trying to push the bar somewhere else, you know, something in the future that they see on the horizon. So they start building something that way they can address that when it comes, you know, even the little stuff, you know, I guess I shouldn't say little, but like Sanctum, you know, all these different things, they're seeing the web change. So they start adding all this stuff in, you know, in anticipation to make everybody's life easier when it's fully here. So I think you know, as long as they're pushing forward, it's going to continue to grow and just be amazing.
Yeah, I think so.
I do agree.
Yeah, I think it'll become better and better and even more popular than it is now. I just don't see it stopping.
Yeah, and we reached last week 150 million downloads. and still rising, which is pretty fantastic.
That's a mind-blowing number, really.
Yes.
Okay, I think this is
wait, I forgot one thing. Wait, I gotta back up 4 questions.
Okay.
On the Laravel team, I forgot to mention Michael Dorinda and Jacob Bennett.
Right, the podcast.
I totally zoned out when I was thinking of the front end website where the podcast kind of runs off the side. So we gotta give a shout out to them. Those guys are awesome.
Yeah, and that podcast is pretty great. I listen to it regularly, and it's just fun to see them have fun as well. So that's also a big part.
I really like the podcast. I think it's a great compilation of news, of Laravel news in voice, and on top of it, they have their own opinion, which is pretty fantastic. I follow the podcast every episode, which is pretty cool. I added a link on the chat for people out there to see.
All right, I think it's time to start wrapping some things up. Eric, is there anything that you like to plug or to share now that we're here at the end of your Laracon journey?
Well, of course, I'll just plug Laravel News, Laravel Jobs, and Laracon Online. Those are my 3 things that I'm sort of into right now. And, so if your company's hiring, place a job. If you want to find some news, subscribe to Laravel News and come to the conference next year. The videos will be available probably tomorrow, probably Friday at latest. So
pretty fast.
You can still, if you haven't got a ticket, you can still get one and still get the downloads and all that stuff.
The videos, yeah.
Cool, Eric. Thanks for having joined us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, man.
Very nice to hear some details from Laravel News. Keep on doing it because it really helps, I think, a lot of people. So thanks for everything that you do, man.
Yeah, thank you for being part of the organization and really for sharing all the insights about Laravel News. It was pretty cool.
All right. Take care, Eric.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, I think it's time to wrap up the stream as well, Nuno.
Yeah.
Because
that was a big day, huh?
It's a big day, yeah. For me, in my time zone, it started at, I think, 4 o'clock. It's now 3 o'clock in the night, so I'm almost 11 hours watching talks. And yeah, we also both did a talk ourselves this stream. Yesterday, we also had a stream, so it was fun, but I'm also glad that we're at the end of it.
Yeah, it was a pretty fantastic day. I really enjoyed having this after party with Kaneko, and Eric, and every attendee here in the chat. Thank you all for being on that side. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank y'all. Y'all, thanks. You all. Yeah, probably the Americans are laughing at us, but just thanks y'all.
Thanks y'all for being on that side, and yeah, I hope you see you all, y'all. Inter 2022.
Yeah, if there's another Laracon online, we do another pre and post party. You know, this is pretty fun. So. Okay, but for now, I think we're done. So thanks everybody. Thanks Nuno, and we will see you the next time. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye.